Welcome everyone to another episode of Y&T and Friends Vinyl Talk. I'm your host Brian Foster, and today we are doing part 2 of this album here. Y&T's Down for the Count. Part 1, if you haven't seen it already, check it out on there. I will post a link at the end of this video for it. But part 1, I went through showing all the vinyl releases worldwide of this particular album. There's one that I don't have and that I talk about in there that I'm still trying to get, but I do have all the rest. So check that out if you're interested in different labels, different countries that have this particular album. But today we're going to do a little deep dive into all the tracks on this album. And to help me with that is a first-time guest on the channel, Mr. Chez Cetra. Chez, thank you for being on today.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me. I'm really appreciative of being on. Looking forward to this. Thank you.
Chez was fortunate enough to participate in this book, which I'm very jealous of. Which also has the name Down for the Count, but our mutual friend Tim Derling's book here. So if you don't have this book, definitely get that on Amazon on there. But yeah, Chez, so why don't you kind of tell us how you got into Y&T?
Yeah, so was back in the day, told this story before, listening to rock radio, which I did a lot of back then, like we all did. And DJ comes on and it says, we got the new one from the band Y&T. Never heard of the band before. And then he rips into what was Mean Streak. And that I was just hooked when I heard that riff. And I said, so, Mean Streak was released, and I guess that would be 83, right?
Yep, 83.
Yeah. So, new release, and they were playing the single, and I just loved it. And then, when the next album came out, and Rock We Trust, saw the video Don't Stop Running before I heard the song on the radio. And again, I loved it, and I love those two albums. And it's pretty much when I started and, followed the band. And was excited after their hiatus when they came back and they started releasing albums again, and kind of followed through from there. And then going back to some of the earlier stuff that I missed out on before Mean Streak, and just loving and discovering new things of the band. This band that I love every time I listen to them. So great band, yeah, great stuff.
That's awesome. Well, we have that in common because Mean Streak was my gateway into
Nice.
Y&T as well. It was the video that I saw first before I ever heard it on the radio. And you're right, that riff just hooks you, and it was all over from that.
Oh yeah, right out of the speakers.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well then, so for this album, which came out around November 5th of 1985, was this something that you got right away when it came out?
Didn't get it right away. Eventually picked up the cassette. Now, this one is not my original cassette. This is one I picked up actually not too long ago, Columbia House version right here. And so I didn't pick it up right away. I had the cassette, kind of like, purge cassettes when I went to these CDs, never really placed it. And then I re-familiarized myself with that album when I picked this up. And unfortunately, this is the only version of Down for the Count that I have on CD. I find this one hard to find on CD around here where I am. Even trying to order it online, I'm sure I could, if I looked hard enough, I can get a copy. But, I'm happy to have those three versions. And, excited to talk about the album tonight with you.
Yeah, so this was actually something that I got I don't know if it was right on release date, but was pretty close. Actually had, let's see, that would have been the summer that I got my driver's license. So
Nice.
I was able to drive to a record store that my friend was working at. He's the one that kind of tipped me off that there was a new Y&T album coming out. So was able to get this kind of right off the bat on here. What did you think of the album cover though?
So the album cover, again, it's been talked about before and talked about it with Tim, and it didn't really strike me as a typical Y&T album cover. I thought the color scheme didn't fit the songs on the album. It's missing the logo. It's really hard. It was really hard to miss in the record store. Like if this was amongst the other ones, it was missing that logo, that kind of like that classic logo that stuck out. And still to this day, I just don't feel like the album cover suits the mood of a lot of the songs on here that we're going to talk about. Like even the picture on the back, I think there's better pictures of the band, and I'm sure this is like the fashion trends that were on that day. So I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
blaming
this
that.
screams 1985 right there.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what year it is. But that being aside, like for the front album cover, it just I would prefer like the classic logo, like right up on top here, something like that, some brighter colors. So yeah, easy to miss in the record store, but still kind of like an outlier of their album cover. So in a way, it's kind of neat, that it's kind of different, but it just doesn't fit a lot of the mood of the songs on the album, for me anyway.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, you get the pink, it's 85, you get the neon colors and, all the different colors, with colorful clothing back then in
Yeah,
the mid 80s for sure. So I think that's some of what they're trying to go for. I mean, they obviously did have the logo on the back, but you would have
yeah,
to flip this thing over to figure out what exactly that this was Y&T on there. So easily missed, definitely. And I always found it interesting too, the hype sticker that they put on here, says contains the hit singles All American Boy, plus Your Mama Don't Dance and Summertime Girls. So two of those songs they didn't even write.
yeah. And ironically, I don't even they weren't even hits. Those two of those songs that they mentioned on there. They were
And
hoping,
then
I think, that they were hits, the record company, But
yeah,
yeah,
and then Summertime Girls was 6 months old at this point. So
yeah.
interesting choices definitely for that. But yeah, so why don't we get into these here then? So it kicks off with In the Name of Rock. So what do you think about that one?
Oh, great opener. I love this song. A song that a lot of people probably never heard of before unless they have this album. And to me, like this was like perfect for rock radio at that time, what was going on in 85. I feel it should have been a single. It's hard driving, you were mentioning getting you had your license there when you went and bought it. It's one of their classics driving in the summertime with the windows rolled down, that stereo cranked. And it's in the long line of great openers that they have. So solid opener for sure. It should have been played on the radio, in my opinion. Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. This and another song I think that we'll talk about in a little bit
Yeah.
definitely should have been singles over what we got on there. Yeah, it's kind of like another one of those anthem type songs that the Y&T has a bunch of. Really think that Leonard might be like one of the stars of this album.
Oh yeah,
Some of
for
these
sure.
some of
Yeah.
these drums, you can really hear that Thunderfoot on a lot of this song here. Um, kind of got that classic Y&T breakdown after the guitar solo that they have in so many songs.
Yeah.
It kind of slows it down, and um, but yeah, definitely one of the best songs on this album,
Oh yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. But the interesting part is that this is one that they never really played live.
Yeah. Yeah. From what I've heard, yeah. It's a great it'd be perfect that arena rock that they were touring at that time. I mean, perfect for the crowds at that time. But yeah, that is kind of surprising.
Yeah, because it's actually I saw them in December, early December of '85. They opened for Heart, and they didn't play any songs off this album.
Yeah, yeah,
And then they turned
surprising.
around and were back in February and played three songs, but In the Name of Rock was not one of them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, surprising there. Yeah,
yep. All right, next up, we do have the one single off this album and video that they shot, which at the time I didn't realize. I mean, looking at the credits, I saw that there were names that I did not recognize as far
yeah,
as who wrote this song, but did not know that it was an actual cover. But that's All American Boy.
yeah. I never knew it was a cover. Also, like it's catchy. It's funny about this song, right? "Summertime Girls" got a lot of airplay where I'm at here, and I remember this song here on those same two rock stations where I heard Mean Streak the first time and then Don't Stop Running lots of times. I remember I think heard this song once, maybe twice, and I remember I did see the video. It didn't really get the traction from where I'm at here, like on the radio, especially being pushed that it was a single and it had a video. It's more an AOR type track than like they're like in comparisons, like In the Name of Rock, those hard driving, hard rock Y&T songs. So more like on the AOR song, but it's good and it's melodic and it's catchy. I understand like years later why, it's the whole thing about the record company and pushing for the singles, and you already had like an established melody, that type of thing. So again, I thought, like I'm sure like you think also, there's better choices for singles on here, but it's good, it's decent. I just think that there's better on the album for sure.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's catchy. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked it at the time.
Yeah.
I honestly, I cannot remember hearing this on the radio. I did catch the
Once
video.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I did catch the video like maybe twice, and it was late at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they would play this video. It's a video from '85, right? It's a little cheesy
Yeah.
um, on there, but at the time it was cool. Um, it's one of the shortest Y&T songs too. That's not an instrumental. It's only like 2:25 or something like that.
Yep.
Very, very short song. I did actually, it was much later when I saw them, but I did actually get to see them play this live one time,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was like 2008 or nine. One
Did
of the
did
shows.
it did it come off a little heavier in the live
Yes,
setting? Like,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All these songs that had the keyboards and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
from Summertime Girls, on, they're always a lot heavier because they didn't,
Yeah.
they don't have keyboards when they
Yeah.
tour on there. But yeah, um, I just actually looked up today and heard for the first time the other version of All American Boy from gosh, I can't remember his name now. Van something or other.
Yeah. It's Van Stevenson, right?
Yes, Van
Yeah.
Stevenson.
He had
Yeah,
a couple of hits in around this time in the
yeah,
'80s there. Yeah. Name that I recognize. Yeah.
yeah. It was actually on the soundtrack for The Slugger's Wife, which is a movie that came out in 1985, which I do remember seeing back in the day, but
Oh, wow. Yeah.
never really made the connection that that song was in there. I mean, I don't even know
Yeah.
what part was on there, but found that kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Anytime at All.
Now this song right here, I feel this could have been a single here. Some prominent keyboards at the start.
Yep,
And again, interesting, the keyboards on the album are by Claude Schnell, who was with doing the Dio albums at that time, if I'm not mistaken, right?
that is correct. Yep.
Yeah. Great melodic rock track. Again, leaning more towards the AOR side, but it's got a really cool riff, like midpoint of the song. So I feel this would have been a decent single too, though. So really nice, catchy melody, and I like this one. Yeah, right, good stuff. Yeah.
No, I do as well. I mean, it definitely, it's the age of keyboards
Yeah.
in rock for sure. So they are definitely prominent. The one thing I don't kind of like, there's like this little effect on Dave's voice that's kind of a
Yeah.
echoey.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and some of the guitars. So that I think was, I'm trying something on there that I don't think worked very well. Um, Other than that, I mean, he's got a short solo on this, but it's a good solo. But I just think it sounds a little overproduced for me.
Yeah.
But again, this is another one that I got to see live one time, and it definitely kicks more so
Nice.
live
Yeah.
than the studio version. All right, next up, Anything for Money.
So good chugging riff on this one. I like the background vocals. It's a good rocker. Really good Leonard Hayes drumming on this song. Yeah, it says again. So we're talking about like the last couple of songs. leaning more towards the AOR style. So I feel like this one, like In the Name of Rock, kind of leaning more towards a classic Y&T sound, if you want to. But yeah, really, really cool song on this one. Like a really nice riff on this one. Loved it. Like this one a lot.
Yep, totally agree. I mean, that's exactly what I wrote down, was just a chunky riff
Yeah.
to start on there. Definitely harder than the last couple songs on there. Love that, Dave uses that toggle switch again a little bit in the solo.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
love when he does that.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, the end of the song, he's like, I'll do anything for $20, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So then, last song on side one is Face Like an Angel.
Okay. So this song, how was this song not a hit?
Yeah.
This is like the lost
They didn't
Y&T.
release it.
Yeah. Gem that so many people didn't hear. How is this not like when they were deciding on a single? Like if this was a leadoff single, I feel this would have been all over the radio. Like so catchy. Like again, more towards the AOR, but what a hook. Background vocals are great. Just one of those lost gems. And I still feel it's like this day, like so many people haven't heard this song, and it's so great. And I've been, getting ready for the episode here. I've been playing the album all week again, and I always go back and replay that song again. One of my favorite Y&T songs, like so great. It's incredible that this was not a single, not a hit, it's just a buried gem. So what a great song. And just, I can't believe it wasn't a single. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they definitely missed this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Face Like an Angel instead of All American Boy. I think, this album sells more. And
Yeah.
you got I don't know, maybe a top 60, maybe top 50 single, something like that. I wouldn't expect it to be a top 20 thing or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least hit the charts.
Yeah. Especially those rock radio charts. This would have been like all over there. Yeah.
I mean, this is a perfect 1985 song. I mean, the keyboards work perfectly in this.
Yeah, he does a good job on them. Yeah.
Yeah. Then now there is a video for this. I believe it was done in Japan.
I've never seen that. Wow.
Yeah, where they shot this video. Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. It's like they're on stage in the 80s costume. I mean, just really 80s looking stuff on there, because
okay.
I believe it was Japan, because when they toured in Japan early 86, and they pretty much played this whole album over there. So I think this is something that hit with the Japanese fans, obviously more so than over here. But yeah, it's it's a cool little video. But they it sounds like Japan got it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So too bad. Yeah, it's just too bad that they didn't release that over here, because. And again, now this is one where they have done live over the years, and it sounds great live too.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, so we flip this thing over here, and we start with a song that, in my opinion, shouldn't be on this album. We've already heard it. Summertime Girls. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I like the song, love the song, classic summertime anthem. But again, it just feels like out of place on this album. And again, it kind of goes back to my earlier point. It doesn't fit like the album cover, like Summertime Girls, the mood of the song, that type of thing. But to me, like, it would have worked better like as a bonus track, like at the end of it right there. They weren't really doing that back in the 80s. I think the CD was just kind of coming out around this time, right? So
right. Yep.
You still, you did have some cassettes so that would have a bonus track at the end. But, I get why they were doing it. It was a bit of a hit, and it got a lot of airplay and a lot of video play. So, I think they were probably looking at it, okay, you know what, we had something people like, let's put it on there. Maybe it'll sell them more. But again, by the time this came out, people, of course, still liked the song. It was kind of old at the same time when it came out. It would have been like, I don't know how many months later, but definitely there was a big gap. Great song, but again, it just kind of like doesn't fit this album in a way. I'm glad that it's on there. That was the way that I got a version of it back then. But when you look at it, it would have worked better like as a bonus track or something like that. But I kind of get why they stuck it on it. But an odd choice too, to the first song on the second side too. So something that we were already kind of familiar with. So
Yeah, this is what they did with Open Fire. I mean, that's the first
yeah,
song on the
yeah,
second side.
exactly. Oh yeah, you're right. It was the same sequencing. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So I'm like, I already have it. Like
yeah,
it's already out. It's done. I mean, I get maybe they're thinking, well, it was a live album, so maybe people aren't buying the live album because maybe they don't know INT. So now it's on a studio album. I don't know, but
yeah,
6 months. The song's out 6 months already. I mean, it's songs don't last that long. They
yeah,
don't have that.
exactly.
Usually have those legs like that unless you're Guns N' Roses or Bon
Yeah,
Jovi or something like that. So I just I'm sure there was another song that would have been better suited to be on here. But it is. I mean, I mean, I like the song. I loved it when it came out. In
yeah,
'85. I was, kind of wish it wasn't on Open Fire, but it would have been
yeah.
this.
That was odd too, though, right? Stuck in the middle of the live album. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just when you have a single live album and then one of the tracks is a studio album. And Tim and I talked about this on the
yeah,
Open
yeah,
Fire episode that you're kind of missing out on another live track.
yeah,
Especially not nothing from In Rock We Trust was on there, which had just which they were just
yeah,
toured on, which just was weird to me. But
yeah,
anyway, we'll get off on that tangent again.
yeah.
But yeah, here it is, leading off side two again. It's 2 albums in a row. All right, next is Looks Like Trouble.
Cool bluesy riff on this one that kicks into like heavier riff there. So that nice little bluesy riff at the beginning, then it kicks in really heavy. Really cool song on this one. Nice, little bit, and again, like a little bit darker. Like this one kind of fits the color scheme of the album in a way, like the dark one. But definitely a cool one. Yeah, I love the riff on this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Leonard's drums stick out again for
Oh
me
yeah,
on this track. Love Dave's scream into the solo. I thought the solo was too short though. I thought that could have gone a little longer.
yeah,
But again, you have that breakdown again after the solo. And I'm sure like Phil probably wrote most of the lyrics to the song, especially that end part. Just those lips, those eyes, those dark tan or was it dark tan thighs or something like that
yeah,
down there. Just that's sounds like Phil.
yeah,
Phil writing that part. But yeah, not wasn't crazy about the fade out ending either. It seemed like it went like too quick. Like all of a sudden that fade part was just the
yeah,
song was gone like real quick.
yeah,
But it's a good song, a good rocking song again
yeah, for
on
sure.
here. So probably as far as side two rockers, that's probably the best one for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right, and then we have another cover song here next. Your Mama Don't Dance.
Yeah. So, this one, definitely this one really sticks out. I think All American Boy was better than this. And then, of course, years later, well, not too many years later, actually, when you think about it, Poison does
Three.
a cover. Yeah. So it's not really that many that years. It's fairly close. I like the Poison version better, and again, I didn't know it was the Loggins Messina song when
Yeah.
Poison, figured that out. Like, actually, ironically, I just listened to Poison yesterday, Greatest Hits CD, and this came on and said, oh yeah, I like this version way better than the Y&T one.
Yeah.
Like it's okay, pretty good guitar solo by Dave in there on there, but again, when you get a great band like Y&T who wrote all those great songs, and then you can see the record company, I feel, kind of pushing maybe a little bit too hard for a hit here, because they have two covers on here, right? And out of the two, I think All American Boy is way better. They do a better job of it, but it's okay, But if you're asking me, I like the Poison version better, So again, just kind of think it takes a little bit of a dip here with that song, but it's okay, for what it is.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite song on the album for sure.
Yeah,
Just didn't think it was necessary to do that one. They tried their best with it on there, but I don't think the production helped either. I mean, you got that electronic drum sound in there.
yeah,
I don't know if the piano was necessary underneath there either. I think it's just overly produced again. But Dave's got a nice guitar lick in there on there, but yeah, just we've talked about it before on these episodes. A&M just did not know what to do with this band.
no, no, and they were like, it was like right there for the taking. They were
Yeah,
right there to break out. They had so many good songs, and they just had everything right. But yeah, they kind of a little bit of a misstep there. Yeah, for sure.
absolutely. All right, and then we get to the rebellious '80s song. Don't tell me what to wear.
Yeah, like musically, it's great. It's a fast one, and
Yep.
I guess I kind of get it. Like, there's a lot of kind of that going around with the whole rebellion type songs back then, and I guess it kind of fit what was going on. Kind of maybe following a little bit of a trend there. I think kind of like I mentioned this before, like they're kind of playing like characters, and maybe it's not necessarily they're singing about themselves, but they're singing about these characters who are saying, "Hey, don't tell us what to wear, and we're gonna do this, that type of thing," And musically, it's great though. It's a really good fast one there. So, but I get it. This is kind of like there was a few songs around at this time like that. By Twisted Sister, which they had some history with, right? Did some
Yeah, they
touring.
toured. Yeah, they toured with them the year before. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, appeared in the Twisted Sister appeared in the Y&T video there,
videos. Yes.
So, I get it, but not my favorite on the album, but there's other songs I like better, but I get it, I
Yeah.
get what they were trying to do. Yeah.
No, I completely agree with you. I think musically it sounds good.
Yeah.
Lyrics, just I don't know. Hearing Dave say "you square,"
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and it's even screaming it, kind of just doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't like to use the word like filler, like say like songs are filler on albums, but if I had to kind of use it, I kind of would probably
Yeah,
use
this
it
would be
for
the
this
one.
one.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, and then Y&T usually finds a way to end albums on
Yeah.
such a great note, and this is no exception.
Oh yeah.
Hands of
They
Time.
yeah, they definitely right the ship there. Another great ballad. Again, Dave's just such a knack for doing these types of songs, and just like you said, for ending albums like with that. This like these kind of like epic type songs, and this is just like another great one, and probably like another one a lot of people probably haven't heard. Is if
Nope.
this album didn't really sell, and it's not one, it's not really one that kind of pops up around here like when I'm out and about, so you got to kind of do some digging to get it, but it's just great, and he just sounds great on it, and it's just a grand way to end the album, and they knew how to do that. Dave knew how to write those songs, and it's a great song. I love this one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a shame that a lot of people probably haven't heard this song. Um, but yeah, they ballad to mid tempo, however you want to call it. I mean, I love the riff underneath that kind of makes it almost sound like a ticking clock throughout the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The just a great pre-chorus and the backing vocals, the game vocals on there, like just adds so much to the song. I mean, it's a perfect solo on there. Leonard's got some great drum fills in that
Oh yeah. Yeah.
last pre-chorus there.
Yeah. Really
Uh,
epic feel to it. Yeah.
yeah, and then you got the fading out to the ticking clock, and then kind of the turning back, right? So you are kind of turning back the hands of time as you put it in
Yeah.
reverse on
Yeah.
there, which is I thought was a really cool way to end that song. So
Mhm.
um, Yeah, I mean this album starts out great and ends great.
Yeah, for
There's a
sure.
few gems in the middle, but
Yeah.
so just overall impressions then.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with what you say. Starts off great, ends great. There's some classic gems there in the middle, and yeah, like if I was going to give it like out of 10, a score out of 10, I'd probably go like with a solid 7 out of 10. And only kind of docking points for a couple of the covers. Although I do think All American Boy is decent though. So had that been like the only cover they did on it, right? And then maybe even though I love, the Summertime Girls song, if that wasn't on the album, like you said, replaced with something else, it would have been higher. But what's great on it is fantastic. So if I was going to give it out of 10, I'm going to go with a solid 7. Just kind of ticking off a couple points for the one too many covers, that type of thing.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. If I was going to rate it out of 10, I would, 7 sounds right.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I just think, I mean, this came out in November. The All American Boy released, didn't really do a whole lot, and then I think A&M was done. So they weren't pushing the band anymore. I mean, this was the last album on A&M.
yeah,
I think, I'm not sure exactly when they parted ways, but it was in '86. Because just looking at kind of what was next, and this is a preview of an episode coming up here. But
nice,
there's a song that they did in 1986 that was supposed to be for soundtrack for the movie Out of Bounds. Wild If I Wanna off of
nice,
Unearthed.
yeah,
Um, didn't actually make the actual soundtrack. Made the movie for a little bit, but
yeah,
that was credited to Geffen Records, and that
uh
was
huh,
that was mid '86. So
yeah,
A&M was done with him real quick after '85. So I mean, this unfortunately, with All American Boy not doing anything, I think this album was kind of dead in the water.
yeah,
But definitely worth having in your
yeah,
Y&T collection. Absolutely. Again, I think Hands of Time, Face Like an Angel are two just album tracks that are true Y&T that every fan should know, and even
yeah,
non Y&T fans need to listen to get more
yeah.
so into this band. So, all right. Anything else from you today?
Oh, just thanks again for having me on. Really enjoy your channel and all the Y&T talk and all the other all the other episodes you do about the other bands. So thanks again for having me. This was great. Appreciate it, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to have you on again. Always
Yeah,
love
for
talking
sure.
Y&T. So,
Yeah, awesome.
all right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Again, check out part 1 if you haven't yet. So I'll put the link to the video up on the top of the screen here at the end, and look for more Y&T content in the very near future. So, with that, have a good night.